on UCF Sports Night. Speed is the name of the game, on the track and on the waves. We continue our spring sport previews with the track and field team and the rowing team. All that and more next on UCF Sports Night.
UCF Sports Night is brought to you by UCF TV.
Hey, Night fans, welcome once again to UCF Sports Night. I'm Jeff Sharon. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We've got a big show for you, and we're going to take a look at two spring sports who are looking to have huge years in 2010, the track and field team and the rowing team. We'll get to both of those in a second. But first, let's take a look at the action from the weekend. We start with men's basketball, continuing conference play with a big matchup against the Cougars of Houston. It's always a tough road trip out to Hofheinz Pavilion in Houston, but the Knights took over early and didn't look back. The story here was Marcus Jordan, his best night yet in the black and gold. He was a perfect 9 out of 9 from the floor and finished with 23 points, a new career high, and 6 rebounds. A.J. Tyler also stepped up in a big way. Here he scores 2 of his 19 points to go with 9 boards. And Dave Diakite was a tremendous force for the Knights in this game. Here he jams home 2 of his 13 along with 9 rebounds of his own. The Knights shot 51% from the field for the evening and held the Cougs to just 25%. And UCF goes on to the big win, 78-71 in Houston. Back at home, the women's basketball team had a huge game of its own in a rematch of the conference championship from last year against Southern Miss. And in this one, Emma Cannon was her usual self. It wasn't easy at times, but she finished 7 out of 8 from the field with a team best 17 points along with 8 rebounds, and she moved into 8th place in school history in points. Also, Chelsea Wiley had a big night. She came off the bench to tie Cannon for the team high with 17 points of her own on 7 of 10 from the field. Marsha White and Danae Daniels also chipped in with double-digit performances, and the Knights, who trailed by as much as 8 in the first half, win this one going away 70-60 over Southern Miss. The men's tennis team started its dual season with a very tough matchup with the number 11 ranked Florida Gators. UF got the victory in Gainesville in this one. One of the highlights, though, Brock Saki and Claudio Romano took a victory at the number 3 position in doubles. A quick recap from last Monday in women's tennis, the last day of the UCF Quad Tournament on campus. The Knights get 2 doubles wins from Jenna Dorfler and Alexis Rodriguez, and Taylor Dubins and Allison Hodges, and a singles victory from Dorfler as well. The Knights look to continue some of that momentum in their first dual match of the 2010 season against Florida Gulf Coast. The Knights swept the doubles point, led by Jenny Frizzell and Katie Orletsky at number 1, who rallied for a 9-7 win. In singles, the Knights got 4 victories, led by Andrea Yakiman, who took her match at number 1 in straight sets, 6-3, 6-love. Also, Alexis Rodriguez took the number 2 match in straight sets, 7-6, 6-1. Katie Orletsky and Taylor Dubins finished off straight set wins of their own, and the Knights took the victory 5-2 over the Eagles. A very good start to the dual match season for UCF. Later that night, men's basketball was back home for a big conference tilt with UTEP. It was coming off snapping Memphis's 64-game conference win streak. However, the Knights ran step for step with the Miners in the first half. Keith Clanton finished 6 of 14 from the floor. He had a team-high 19 points along with 6 rebounds. Also, A.J. Romsa had the hot hand from the outside. Hitting a pair of threes, he was 5 out of 10 overall, 13 points and 4 assists. And A.J. Tyler came up big, a sparkling 6 of 7 from the field, 12 points and 8 rebounds. UCF trailed at the half by just 3, but in the second half, UTEP exploded for 52 points, led by 39 and 9 three-pointers from Randy Culpepper, and they pick up the win in UCF Arena. Plenty of headlines from the track and field team and their trip to Illinois for that Carle Healthcare Alliance Classic over the weekend. UCF athletes set 7 new personal records. Michaela Wimberly and Jackie Coward put up NCAA provisional qualifying marks in the 60-meter hurdles, both breaking the 8.3-second mark. 5 Knights also took home second-place finishes, including Jackie Gilchrist in the long jump and LaKendra Thames in the shot put. Tamika Story also finished second in the triple jump. And Sunday, women's hoops traveled out to UTEP but came up empty against the Miners. Chelsea Wiley had a monster game, 10 of 16 from the floor, 29 points, including 7 threes. Also, Danae Daniels had one of her best games of the season, 6 of 13 from the floor, 20 points, including 8 of 10 at the line. Also, Jelly Mealing had 8 points and 10 assists. But the Knights could not overcome UTEP's blazing hot shooting, 64%, and they come up a bit short on the road. And of course, for all the latest news, scores, and information from every UCF sport, log on to UCFathletics.com, your online home for UCF sports. Coming up next here on UCF Sports Night, we continue our spring sport previews with a look at the track and field team. They had a big year in 2009, and they're looking to continue that in 2010. We sit down with their head coach, Carol Smith-Gilbert, when UCF Sports Night returns. Night fans, Saturday at 7 p.m. is the baseball team's Night Fest at the baseball complex. You can meet the players and the coaches, get some autographs, and win prizes. More information at UCFathletics.com.
This is UCF.
Time to armor up. UCF basketball is back.
Open for three. Got it, Isaac Sosa.
Be a part of all the big games at a small price with season tickets starting at just $79.
Ramsa floats it up. It rolls in. Ball game over.
Season tickets are on sale now. To reserve your seat today, call 407-UCF-1000 or log on to UCFathletics.com. Armor up.
Are you an active fan or an interactive fan? Just because you aren't screaming from your seat doesn't mean thousands of people can't hear you. These days, it's easier than ever to be heard. Conference USA encourages its fans to send the right message and be kind online.
Welcome back to UCF Sports Night. We're continuing our spring previews, and we've got a big show this week. We're going to start out by looking at the track and field team, and head coach Carol Smith-Gilbert joins us for the first time this year on the show. Coach, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for coming on the show. I know you said to me earlier, your slogan for the team this year, it's time to deliver. Now, what are your expectations for your team in the spring of 2010?
I come up with the slogan because we have a very good team in place in all areas, distance runners, throwers, sprinters, hurdlers, jumpers. It's time for the team to deliver. We had people set in place last year, and we had an inexperienced team. We were third indoor and second outdoor, but now it's time to compete for the championship indoor and outdoor Conference USA. So it's time to deliver.
The sprinters for you so far this year have gotten off to a very good start. Tell me what we can expect to see from them as we go from the indoor to the outdoor season.
Well, when you have a team who's young like our team and a team that's mostly Florida kids, they don't typically run indoors in high school. So it takes them a few meets to get versed on the different tracks and the bank tracks and the small tracks and the 200 tracks. So indoor, we're really preparing for outdoor. So I think indoor we'll see some good performances with Jackie Coward, Tiki James, Sheila Paul, Sanisha Williams. You'll see some things come from them, Champel Brown. And each meet they'll get better, the whole sprint group and every group actually. But outdoors we feel more comfortable because that's what they're used to.
Tell me about your middle and long distance runners too, because I know they did a lot of work, and sometimes there's some crossover with cross country too.
Yes. My assistant coach, Ty Angela Sanders, she's worked hard all year through cross country on those long, grueling road runs that we saw earlier in the season, to getting them prepared and resting them in cross country. From going from cross country to indoor and outdoor track, it takes a lot of preparation and calculated science as far as how much they should run, how much they should rest. But right now she's done a great job of getting them ready to go indoors and preparing someone like an Ocean Cohen who runs the 10,000 outdoor to be able to run a good 3K indoor. So we look for some great performances from Jamie Respecki in the steeplechase and Erica White's in the steeplechase, but also indoor they don't have steeplechase, the flat 3,000 and the 5,000.
Your throwers have gotten off to a good start this year too. I know Jessica Francis had 2 personal records starting in the first event.
Yes, she did.
How proud are you not only with the progress that they've made, but I know that you know that they can make some more improvement as the season goes on.
Yes. Our throws coach, Jeff Chacoyan, has done a great job getting them ready to go. Kendra Thames also had a PR.
Yeah.
And I think this year they're going to be really the ones that come through for the team at the championships.
Field events too. I know you do so much work, especially with the long jump. Tell me about some of the things we can look forward to in those events as well.
In the high jump, we have Satnisha Williams again from Jacksonville. She should do well. We also have in the multi Sam Shields. Other parts of the field would be Jacqueline Gilchrist, Tamika Story in the long jump, and Tamika Story in the triple jump. So I look for all of those things to be real good performances.
Last question for you with Conference USA coming up. Obviously, like we said, we're in the indoor season right now, but you get to finish the outdoor season right here at home because we're hosting the Conference USA Outdoor Championships. Yes. How big of an event is that? How much are you looking forward to having that event here in Orlando?
Oh, man, we're really excited about the event. I think all the other teams in the conference are excited as well. It's going to be extremely hot, but it's going to be very competitive, and we're going to do a great job of putting on an event that is going to be, our track is fast. So you should see some fast times and some great throws and some far jumps and some distance runners getting it done. So it's going to be a real big deal, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
All right, I know we're looking forward to seeing an event like that right here in Orlando. So once again, thank you so much for your time. Head coach Carol Smith-Gilbert, UCF Track and Field.
Thank you.
Stick around. Coming up next year on UCF SportsKnight, we switch gears to rowing. We talk with head coach Becky Kramer in just a moment. Night fans, the men's basketball team takes on Tulsa on Saturday at 5 p.m. at UCF Arena in a huge Conference USA showdown. More information at 407 UCF 1000 and at UCFathletics.com.
So in 1975, the United States ranked 3rd in the world in percentage. Must be the new guy. I guess you can say I was with you guys the whole time. New guy.
UCF and the Central Florida Research Park have helped create 41,000 jobs and contributed about $3.3 billion to the regional economy.
3, and that's only new girl.
So if it seems like your company's growing, it probably is. UCF stands for opportunity.
Time to armor up. UCF basketball is back.
Open for 3. Got it, Isaac Sosa.
Be a part of all the big games at a small price with season tickets starting at just $79.
Ramsa floats it up. It rolls in. Ball game over.
Season tickets are on sale now. To reserve your seat today, call 407 UCF 1000 or log on to UCFathletics.com. Armor up. Hey, Night fans, check out all the latest UCF action on UCF Sports Night. Join us as we recap all the highlights of the week from every UCF sport, plus all the features and interviews that take you inside the world of UCF athletics. If it's UCF sports, it's on UCF Sports Night. You can catch UCF Sports Night all season long on UCF TV and also on Bright House Sports Network and Sun Sports. Check your local listings for details. Welcome back to UCF Sports Night. We are continuing our spring previews now with a look at the rowing team. They had a very good fall. Continuing into the spring, they hope to carry on that momentum. And joining me now is their head coach, Becky Kramer. Coach, how are you? Good. How are you doing? Good. Thanks for coming on the show. Give me your evaluation of the fall semester. What were some of the good things that happened for UCF rowing?
I changed the training a little bit. We did a lot of base training, and as we got to our race at the head of the hooch, head of the Chattahoochee, the athletes weren't as happy with the results. I was happy with them, but we set ourselves up to be in a good position for the spring. And so we put in a lot of miles, put in a lot of work, a lot of distance, and it's going to pay off in the long run in the spring.
As we now head into the spring, I know you still have some time before your season gets going. I think it starts at the beginning of March. What are your goals for the team in the spring of 2010?
Well, our goals, as it is every year, is to make it back to the NCAA championship. But we have a new goal this year, which is we just became an official Conference USA sport. And so this will be the first time ever that we get to compete for the conference championship. And so our team is very, very focused. This is the most focus I've ever seen them on winning that conference championship.
All right. Now tell me once again, who are the schools that you're going to be competing with in Conference USA rowing?
Conference USA rowing is Alabama, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Texas, Kansas, Kansas State, Tulsa, SMU, and UCF. So
that's some pretty tough competition, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Tell me about which boats are the ones that we should look out for in the spring when you guys get going?
Both our Varsity 8 and our Varsity 8 and JV 8 are going to be very solid this year. We had our freshmen finish third in the South Central region last year and have made a big impact this year as sophomores. And we had a lot of depth last year, and it's really showing this year. And our Varsity 4 will be strong as well. But we have a new freshman coach, and so the freshmen should be solid as well. But the Varsity 8 will be exciting to watch this year.
All right. Now, I know you have a schedule that is pretty short. There's only a few meets, a few regattas for you to go to, so you got to, hit the ground running once you get there. So tell me about the schedule. What's coming up?
We open in Texas. We get the opportunity to race 4 times, 4 different programs there, which is a great way to start the season. And we get a weekend off. We get a bye weekend. Then we will head up to Indiana, and it is a new course for us. We have never raced. The team has never traveled there. And we get the opportunity to see new schools, both BU, Indiana, as well as Miami. And then our next trip will be to DC, and that also is a new venue for us. And there'll be 9 schools there. So the first 3 races will be big and new venues for us, and then 2 weeks off before hosting Alabama on our home course, which will be very exciting, and then the South Central Regional Championships, which will happen in conjunction with Conference USA.
And I was going to ask you about the home course as well. I know I was there last year for the opener against Duke there, and it was a fantastic moment for the program. Have you guys settled into that new facility now?
We have. It definitely feels like home, and coming back after winter break to be able to run a camp at our facility was great. And the team is so focused, both because of Conference USA, but because they don't have the distractions that we'd had before the facility. So we've really settled in, and we're excited to host Alabama.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, Becky Kramer from UCF Rowing. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you very much.
All right, don't go away. Coming up next here on UCF Sports Night, we'll wrap things up with some news and notes. We've also got our plays of the week. Don't go away. We're back in just a moment. Night fans, the women's basketball team is in action Sunday at 2 p.m. against the Tulane Green Wave at UCF Arena. More information at 407 UCF 1000 and at UCFathletics.com. Orlando, it's time to armor up. UCF basketball is back.
Open for 3. Got it, Isaac Sosa.
Be a part of all the big games at a small price, with season tickets starting at just $79.
Ramsa floats it up, it rolls in! Ball game over!
Season tickets are on sale now. To reserve your seat today, call 407 UCF 1000 or log on to UCFathletics.com. Armor up. Hey, Knight fans, check out all the latest UCF action on UCF Sports Night. Join us as we recap all the highlights of the week from every UCF sport, plus all the features and interviews that take you inside the world of UCF athletics. If it's UCF sports, it's on UCF Sports Night. You can catch UCF Sports Night all season long on UCF TV and also on Bright House Sports Network and Sun Sports. Check your local listings for details.
Are you an active fan or an interactive fan? Just because you aren't screaming from your seat doesn't mean thousands of people can't hear you. These days, it's easier than ever to be heard. Conference USA encourages its fans to send the right message and be kind online.
This is my UCF.
Welcome back to UCF Sports Night. Our plays of the week and look at the week ahead are on the way in just a moment. But first, let's have a look at some news and notes from the week. In golf news, former Knight David Johnson is qualified for a spot on the Asian Professional Golf Tour. The Palm Bay native put together 4 solid rounds in 2 qualifying stages in Thailand to earn his card. Johnson was a key player in the Knights' run to the NCAA championships last season, making All-Conference USA second team and finishing 14th in the NCAA Southeast Regional. His first event on the Asian Tour is in Bangkok in the first week of February. In women's basketball news, Emma Cannon has been named the Bright House Network Student Athlete of the Week. The junior forward from New York had one of her most solid weeks of the season. Against Memphis, she pulled down a career-high tying 20 rebounds. That was tied for the 4th most ever in a single game in school history. Then the next game against UAB, Cannon put up 16 points and 13 rebounds. It was her 39th career double-double, and she moved into UCF's top 10 all-time in scoring. Time now for our Sports Night plays of the week. Here's play number 3. Here's a look at play number 2.
Marcus bumped to Kite, drives it on the baseline. Boom, baby! Jammed by Kite. 73-62, throws it down with 1:20 to go.
And finally, here's play number 1.
Rebound Ramsa. He'll hustle. 3-on-4. He'll drive in. His left-handed layup, no good. Marcus Jordan got the rebound. Falling down. Puts it up and in. Marcus was on the way down and kept possession. Floats it back up.
And those are your Sports Night plays of the week. Things are getting busier at UCF as we look at the week ahead. Action starts on Wednesday with women's tennis. They're heading up to Gainesville for a big match with the Florida Gators. That match begins at 5 p.m. Also, men's basketball is on the road. They'll be in Dallas to face the Mustangs of SMU in a big Conference USA matchup. Tip-off is set for 8 o'clock Eastern Time, and you can hear the action on the Knights' flagship station, 740 The Game. Friday, women's tennis is back home for another big match. They face the Michigan State Spartans at the tennis complex. Doubles play is set to begin at 4 p.m. Also on Friday, the track and field team begins action at the Rod McCravey Invitational in Lexington, Kentucky. That event goes all day Friday and Saturday. On Saturday, more tennis here on campus as the women's team is in action again. They take on Florida Atlantic in their 3rd match in 4 days. First serve for doubles at the tennis complex is at 2 p.m. Then right after that, the men's basketball team takes the floor at UCF Arena against Tulsa in another huge conference matchup. Tip-off for the game is at 5 p.m. and you can see it live on UCFathletics.com or hear it on 740 The Game. Also on Saturday night, the baseball team is hosting their Night Fest at the baseball complex. It's a chance to meet the team, get some autographs, and win some prizes. It all starts right after the basketball game at about 7 p.m. And on Sunday, the women's basketball team gets back into action with a big home game as they meet the Tulane Green Wave at the Dungeon. Tip is at 2 p.m. and you can see the action live on UCFathletics.com or hear it on ESPN Radio 1080. And finally, next Tuesday, men's basketball is on the road in Greenville, North Carolina to face the Pirates of East Carolina. Tip is at 7 and you can hear the action on 740 The Game. On Mondays, join Coach Kirk Speraw and Mark Daniels for the Kirk Speraw Radio Show. Listen as they talk UCF hoops live from Smoky Bones in Waterford Lakes each Monday from 7 to 8 p.m. If you can't make it to Smoky Bones, you can hear the show live on the Knight's flagship station, 740 The Game, and also online at UCFathletics.com. Also on the air, make sure you tune in to UCF Sports Today with Kirk Speraw. Join Mark Daniels and the Knight's head coach for plenty of insight, analysis, and in-depth features every Tuesday on UCF TV and also on Sun Sports and Bright House Sports Network. And of course, don't forget you can catch UCF Sports Night debuting every Tuesday on UCF TV and airing throughout the week. You can also catch the show on Sun Sports and Bright House Sports Network. Check your local listings for details. And for all the latest news, scores, and features from every UCF sport, log on to UCFathletics.com, your 24/7 online home for UCF sports. And of course, if you want to catch this edition again or you want to see any of our archived editions of UCF Sports Night, you can anytime you want online. All you've got to do is log on to UCF TV's website, which is at www.ucftv, or hit up UCFathletics.com. Well, that's going to do it for us for this week here on UCF Sports Night. We'll catch you again next week. For all of us here at UCF Athletics and UCF TV, I'm Jeff Sharon saying thanks for watching and go Knights!
Hey, this is LT from 101.1 WJRR. You're listening to the best sounds of area music. UCF Athletics, Access Magazine, and WJRR are proud to support local artists. You can find more great artists by going online at www.wjrr.com and also accessmag.com, and by listening to Native Noise each and every Sunday at 11 o'clock.
UCF Sports Night is brought to you by UCF TV.